Hello dear students, welcome back to a YouTube class. So in the previous class we were dealing on the generation of the computers. We had seen totally there will be 5 types of the generations named respectively with the first generation, second generation, third generation, fourth generation and fifth generations. At the end of the explanation, I had given you the comparison. I had given you one table. If you see that table, then it is easy for you all to know what all the main points you have to remember in your generation. So in each generation, you have to remember the year when it starts, the technology which we using in each generation, and what all the main features of each generations of the computer. Those all things you have to remember, because the technology which we use and the main concepts from each generation, you may get it for 1 mark question, and the explanation of your generation, total all explanation of 5 generation, you get it for 5 marks question, and only relating to your 1 generation or combined with the 2 generation explanation, that can be asked for 2 marks or 3 marks question. The next part in your syllabus we have is classification of your computer. How your computer has been classified into different types of the computer. We don't have only one computer, we have the different types of the computers. So mainly these computers are classified based on some parameters. So this classification of your computers, that is your electronic computers, are mainly based on either their principle of operations or their configurations, that is based on the size, speed of doing the computation and the storage capacity of your computer. So mainly we concentrate on these 2 points to classify a computer. One is based on the principle of operation. For what purpose we are using that computer, how those computer operate, and which type of the data it used to operate those calculations. And the second thing is based on the configuration. The configuration means the size of the computer, the speed of the calculation, and the storage capacity of your computers. So based on these all the points, we had classified your computer into different types. So we'll see the diagram of that classification, and then we'll study each classification in detail. So the diagram goes in this way. Your classification of the computer at the top, it has been classified basically main on these all the points. So this is your first type of the computer, that is based on your constructor and the working, how you have constructed your computer and how it is working. Next we divide based on the usage. Next we divide based on the size and the capability. And then the area of the application and the number of the users. So based on these 5 categories, we divide our computers. The first one is based on the constructions and the working. So based on the constructions and the working, the computers has been divided into these 3 types. So which are those? Analog computer, digital computer and hybrid computer. Based on how it works and how the computers has been constructed. On that, we divide mainly the computers into 3 types: analog computer, digital computer and the hybrid computer. Next, the second one, based on the usage. For what purpose we use the computers? Based on that, we divide the computers into 2 types, that is the special purpose and the general purpose used computer. For what purpose you are using? For special some operations, those will be one type of the computers, and the second one is based on generally we are using for all purpose. That is the second type of the computer in your usage. Next, based on the size and the capability of the computer, we mainly divide your computer into these 4 types. That is, the first one is the microcomputer, the second one we have is mini computer, and the third one we have is mainframe computer, and the fourth one we have is supercomputer. So based on the size and the capability, we divide the computers mainly into 4, that is a microcomputer, mini computer, mainframe computer and supercomputer. Next, the fourth one we have is based on the area of the application. Based on the area of the application. The area of the application means where all we can use the computer. that we have into two types. The one is business purpose and another one is scientific purpose. The first one we have is business purpose and the second one we have is scientific purpose. Next, the last one is based on the number of users. How many number of the users can use the computer. Based on that, we divide computers into two types. The one is single, means only one person can use a computer at a time. And the second one is multi-network. Multi-network means we connect it to the network and through that the multiple users can use a single computer. That is, will be only one CPU and different monitors and the keyboards, input-output devices will be given to the users through the network connections. So that we tell it as multi-network. Done? So the classification has been divided based on these all the 5 categories. First one is construction and working, second one is usage, the third one is size and the capability, fourth one is based on the area of application and the fifth one is number of users. Done? So this is the diagram which shows the classification of computers. Next we'll study each classification in detail, one after the other. So in your syllabus, we have in detail relating to your constructions and the working, relating to your usage and the relating to your size and the capability. The area of application and the number of users is not being added into your syllabus, even though for your knowledge purpose I'll explain those two categories also. First we'll study about your usage, working and construction and the size of the capability, and then we'll later study about your area of application and the number of the users. So the first one we'll study based on the usage, that is based on the purpose we are using. So based on the purpose, according to for what purpose we are using your computer, based on that this has been divided into two types. The first one we have is general purpose computers and the second one is we have is specific purpose. If you read the word, if you read the name of the computer classification, general purpose and the specific purpose, you will get to know on your own. General purpose means generally can be used for all the purpose. Specific purpose means in only that field it is used. Like that we can just define those. Done? So in detail we'll study about each. The first one we have is general purpose computer. So these general purpose computer, for what purpose we use? These types of the computers are designed to perform a range of tasks. Means it is not specifically used for only this purpose. It can be used for all. For example, I am using the laptop for teaching. The same laptop I can use it in the home for browsing. The same laptop can be used for gaming. The same laptop can be used for the online shopping and all. So the computer is one, can be used for different tasks. So that is your general purpose used computers. Done? They have an ability to store the numerous programs, but the speed of and the efficiency of your computer is very less. The speed and the efficiency of your computer, that is of your general purpose computer, is very less because it is used for all type of the work. For that, the speed the speed of the computer is less and the efficiency is also less. It lacks in the speed and the efficiency. The second type we have is specific purpose computers. These computers has been mainly designed to handle specific problem or to perform some specific task. For example, the research purpose use the computers, or else the computers which we use for radars study, the computers which we use for weather forecasting, the computers which we use in the defense, the computers which we use for your animations, the computers which we use in the robotics. These all are not the simple general purpose used computers. These all are the high technologies advanced computers. The normal general purpose used computers we cannot use for robotics because the features, the speed, the storage capacity, the processing concept, everything is different than the normal computers. So those computers are specially designed only that purpose. For that, we call them as specific purpose used computers. If you concentrate on the speed and the efficiency of your specific purpose computers, those are high than your general purpose computers. Done? So this is the meaning and the difference you can have it on your analog computers and on your general purpose computers and specific purpose computers. Just generally you remember, general purpose computer means can be used for anything, for all purpose, and specific purpose computers means specially designed for that field work. If you compare the efficiency and speed, then in your specific purpose computers, those have the high speed and the high efficiency, and the general purpose have the less speed and the low efficiency. That is about your general purpose computers and the specific purpose computers. The next classification we have is based on the principle of operations. Based on the principle of the operation, that is based on the constructions and working, how those has been designed and for what purpose those are using or how they work. Based on that, the computers has been divided into three, that is analog computer, digital computers and the hybrid computers. What all we have is analog computers, digital computers and hybrid computers. So according to the principle of data handling, the computers has been classified into mainly three types. The one is analog computer, the second one is digital computer and the third one is hybrid computers. So we'll study in detail the first analog computer, then the digital computer and then the hybrid computer. So the first one we have is analog computers. The analog computers work upon the continuous data. Here, the continuous data means in the format of measuring. So we say that analog computers operates by measuring rather than counting. The analog computers are that computers which will calculate in parallelly, hence the speed of the analog computers are faster. These will calculate the concepts or the data parallelly, one after the other. So the speed is faster, we can say. So here in the modern days, what all the analog computers we use, usually those will be employed on your electrical parameters like your voltage, the resistance or currents to represent the quantities being manipulated. So one general example I can give you on your analog computers is your thermometers, which is used to measure the temperature. So the devices, electronic devices are the computers which will work or calculate based on the measurement concept. Those computers are called as analog computers. Some more features you can see on your analog computers are the computations are carried out with the physical quantities like your voltage, the length, the current, the temperatures, like that. So you can just say that the height of the person, the weight of the person, it is also measured. It is not exact quantity you will get. You may get it in the fractions, like in points and all you will get it. Then, so the height is not like exactly 5 feet, 6 feet, 7 feet. It is in the format like 5.1, 5.4, 5.3, like that we see. Then, so the measurement quantities all will come in the format of your analog computers. So the devices that measures such as the quantities, all are your analog devices. All are your analog devices. So this is about your analog computers. The next one we have is digital computers. The next second type is we have digital computers. So what happens here in your digital computer? It works upon your discontinuous data. Remember the difference between your digital computer and your analog computer. Your analog computer works on your continuous data, where your digital computer works on your discontinuous data. Here in your digital computer, it operates on digital data. For example, numbers. It takes the numbers. It is not in the format of measurements. The exact numbers it will get. So you can just say is based on the countings also. For example, the number of the students present in a class, we count it. we can count it exactly how many number of the students will get it. So that count will get the numbers in a whole number, not in the fractions. So such computers are called as your digital computers. So here in your digital computers, it takes the binary number system, which is there in the format like 2 digits we use. One is 0 and 1. We know your digital numbers, that is the binary numbers, always 0 and 1, and these 0 and 1 are called as bit. Everything we had studied, that is binary digit. Done. So they convert the data in the digits, that is into your binary digit in the format of 0 and 1, and then all operations are carried out these digits at extreme fast rates. As your digital computer works on directly binary digits, so it is very easy to convert the data in the machine language, because we know that the machine language all operates on your binary numbers, that is in the format of 0 and 1, so that easily we can increase the speed of your calculations. So the speed, if you compare with your analog computers, the digital computer speed is higher and it will give you more accurate of your output. The other features of your digital computers we have is, a digital computer basically knows how to count the digits and add the digits. So here the calculation is in the format of countings and addings, where in your analog it is in the format of measurement. The digital computers are faster than analog computers and far more accurate. As I told you, it is all based on your digital values, that is in your binary digits. So automatically the speed has been increased and the accuracy is more if you compare with your analog data. The computers used for your business and scientific applications, all we use is digital computers. We have another classification, no, that is based on the area of the application. So in these applications, that is in your business and the scientific field, what all the computers we use, those all computers are your digital computers. So the next third type of your computer based on your constructions or the working we have is hybrid computers. So what happened here in your hybrid computers? If you read the name hybrid, it is nothing but the mixed. So your hybrid computers are nothing but the combination of both analog and digital computers. The hybrid computers are the combination of both analog and digital computers. Your hybrid computers accept both input values, that is the analog data and the digital data for calculation, that is for the processing we call it as. So it can process on analog data also, it can process on your digital data also, that is it can perform the measurement calculation also and it can perform the counting calculations also. Both the continuous and discontinuous data can be given as input for the processing in your hybrid computers. Here in your hybrid computers, it incorporates the measuring features of your analog computer and the counting features of your digital computers. Both the features are there in your hybrid computers, that is the measuring which it has been taken from the analog computers and the counting feature which it has been taken from the digital computer. For computational purpose, these computers use analog components, and for storage purpose it use digital memories. So how this hybrid computer works? If it wants to compute to do any calculations, then it use the analog components, and if comes the question of storage, the data storage, then it use the digital memory in the format of binary numbers, that is 0 and 1. So you can read more about your hybrid computers. Nowadays in current era, we are getting ADC and DAC, that is analog to digital computer and digital to analog computer. So what we do here is we transfer the data from one format to another format. We transfer the data from analog to digital, and we even transfer the data from digital to analog. So those are called as analog to digital converter or analog to digital computer, ADC, and digital to analog converters or digital to analog computers. So these are used to transforming data into suitable form. So how the data is needed to transfer? If it is needed to transfer into digital, so we try to convert from analog to digital. If it needed to convert it into analog, then we convert it using DAC, from digital to analog. So these converters are used to convert the data from analog to digital and from digital to analog. In these computers, some calculation takes place in analog manner and the rest of them takes place in the digital manners. Means in your hybrid computers, we can perform the calculation in the format of analog also and in the format of digital also. Hybrid computers are best usable in your hospitals. So the example how it works in the hospital is the analog part is responsible for measuring of the patient's heartbeat or the blood pressure or the temperature and the other vital signs. And then the operation is carried out in a digital fashion to monitor the patient's vital signs. So here the best example of using your hybrid computers are in the hospitals, where it is used for both, like based on your analog data also and based on your digital data also. So how this analog data will help? The analog measurement means the analog data or the analog content is used to measure the patient's heartbeat. We can see the patient's BP, that is blood pressure, then the temperature and the other vital sign. And the digital content is used to monitor the patient's vital signs while the operation is carried out. So the best example we can give for the digital hybrid computers are used in the hospitals. Next, these hybrid computers are also used for weather forecasting. In weather forecasting, to measure the temperature, we use these hybrid computers, where sometimes we convert those analog data into digital format also. That is how we can use these hybrid computers. So remember, in your hybrid, we can use both the features of your analog and digital. The next, we'll see the difference between your analog and digital computers. We try to compare of your analog computer and the digital computer. So the first point we can compare, that is the differentiate between your analog computer and digital computer, is your analog computer operates on continuous value of the data, where your digital computer works on discrete values of the data, that we call it as discontinuous of the data. The second comparison, they will give you only the approximate result, and here the digital computer will give you the accurate results. Approximate means vary. It can be or it cannot be. Probably we can say. And here in the digital, accurate exact value will get it. Next, based on the speed, in your analog computer the processing speed is slow, and digital computer the processing speed is fast. If you compare the processing speed, the speed of the calculation, then the speed of the calculation of your analog computer is slow if you compare with its digital computer. Next, they have the very limited use, and here it is the versatile, means you can use it in many fields for the multiple purpose. Here they are limited, only for that purpose we can use it, like the specific computers. Fine. The last difference between your analog and digital we have is they have the small memory and the rest less reliable, and here the memory capacity is more and those are more reliable if you compare with your analog computers. Fine. So these all are the difference between your analog computers and the digital computers. So today's class we had covered the classification of your computer, that is the diagram we had seen the classification of the computers. Based on what all the categories we can classify, like based on the constructions and working, based on the usage, based on the number of the users, the size and all, based on the application, those all the capabilities we have. And with that we had seen the two classification. One is based on the purpose, general purpose and the special purpose, and based on the constructions and the working. The other classifications we will see in the next class. If you have any doubts regarding to these computers, that is the special purpose computers, general purpose computers, analog computers, digital computers and the hybrid computers, let me know. I'll clarify your doubts. The other things we'll see in the next class. Thank you.